You started? Yeah, it started, Carl.
All right. So good morning and welcome everyone. My name is Kader Khan. I work for the company called Expo in the capacity of Director, Strategic Partnership and Alliances. Today we are here together to talk about new era of automation with Industry 4.0, presented by Christopher Community. First of all, I'd like to thank you all by taking time and coming today and attending this event. So today's agenda, we are at 10:15. We are basically starting our session. We'll go through around 5 presentations, starting from me, followed by BRAMPTON, followed by Microsoft, Tech Mahindra, and Bell. And after the presentation, we will have a panel discussion where we would be answering all the questions posted by you guys in the chat window. We'll also have 2 breaks. The first break will be around 11:05 for 5 minutes, and then the second break will be around 11:50 for 10 minutes. So let's get started with the logistics. There are a few things that you need to know while you are attending this session. The first thing is we're going to have 2 tracks. Right now, you're all in the presentation track. And if you kind of hover the mouse in front of your app or the browser, you will see this bar that you're seeing in the presentation right now. And there are 3 buttons here. One is video, the second one is audio, and the third one is chat. We kindly recommend you to mute all the time and also mute your video all the time. There may be an exception for the presenters who would like to show their video for the presentability point of view. You are welcome to switch on the video and start your presentation. And there is a chat button here. You need to click the chat button and post all your questions. So all the questions will be answered from the chat window towards the end of the session in the panel discussion. So when you click this chat button, you will see the screen here below. And there is an arrow pointing there. You can type your questions there and you can click send. So now, again, you're all in the presentation track. Around 11:30, we will also open another track, which is called as a networking track. And in the chat window, you will already see what you are seeing in my screen right now, networking invite. Right? So that's the link. So if you wanted to network, and you can click that link and you can join that track. And it's easy to go between both of these tracks. So when you join the second track, what you see here, you will see a small black color box there. And there is a play button there. So you can, by clicking this play button, you can go back and forth between the presentation track and the networking track. So 2 tracks, you're right now in the presentation track, and around 11:30, we will open the networking track. The link is available in the screen. You can click them and you can go between both the tracks depending upon your own interest. Just a minute. Okay. So the next key thing to understand from the logistics point of view is documents. Whoever has registered through the Eventbrite would have already received an invitation to join the Microsoft Teams from the Testoper community. And there is a document in the chat window. If you go now, you would actually see Testoper Microsoft Teams joining instruction. There is a document. I would recommend you to download that document and keep it with you. It has an instruction for you to follow after the event to join the Microsoft Teams. So if you join the Microsoft Teams, you will actually see something like this here, what you see in the top left corner of the picture. So there are multiple channels and you can go into the channels and you can collaborate with the rest of the Testopers in the community. And within this community, we also post documents, everything related to Testoper activities. So you will get full access to whatever that we do, including today's meetup presentation and so on. So we highly recommend you to join and make sure that you take this benefit out of this, whatever is available out there. Then the next thing is we also have a YouTube channel. We will be posting our videos of all the codathons, all the event videos in the YouTube channel. So if you wanted to go back and review them, you are welcome to go and subscribe and review them. And this is, just wanted to reiterate, Microsoft Teams is the platform that we use for all the communication purposes within the Testoper community, including posting the documents, including the chats, including lot of other activities. So I highly recommend that you follow those instructions into this Microsoft Teams. The last one is we will also be doing survey during the break time that I mentioned in the previous slide. So there's two ways to do it. Those who are already in the Microsoft Teams, you can click General, and in the right-hand side, you would see in the menu, Fill Testoper General. If you click that, there will be a survey. You can directly enter your answers of that survey from there. Or the other option is, you can look at the chat window today. When you click it, you will see in the chat window, in the top, if you scroll up, you will also see a Testoper survey link. You can click that to fill in the survey. All right, so let's start with why Testoper. We are living in an era of digital transformation. This is the reality. There is a lot of advancements are happening, starting from technological advancements. When I talk about technological advancements, I'm talking about different technologies that are out there, starting from 5G, starting from space communication, Hyperloop, blockchain, all these different technologies. And today the topic is new era of automation with Industry 4.0. So when you talk about Industry 4.0, IoT is a critical component. And if you wanted to build a product or a solution or a service to your end customers using an IoT technology, it's not just an IoT technology that you're going to use. You have to have a good knowledge about other technology as well to provide a product that end user can consume and have a high quality of experience. I'll give you an example. If you're building an IoT product, you need to have a knowledge on IoT to start with, obviously. Then you have to have a knowledge on connectivity, which is the right connectivity that you wanted to choose. For example, 5G or any other connectivity. Then you need to have a knowledge about cybersecurity, which how do you protect your product and services and solutions to your end customer? And probably you would also need to have a knowledge about blockchain if you wanted to store some data that is encrypted and not mutable of your product. And maybe you need to have a knowledge about virtual reality where you wanted to see things virtually, or augmented reality where you wanted to augment the real things and see how it's going to make a difference in your product to the end users. So the point here is, when you are trying to build a product, solution, or services, it's not anymore having one technology knowledge is enough. You have to have knowledge of connecting technologies by which you can provide a product that can give a high quality of experience to the end users. This is very, very critical. And there are a lot of advancement is also happening at the architectural level. In olden times, we used to just create a program or a product by just writing a monolithic architecture, by designing stuff in a monolithic architecture, writing the program line by line and putting some branches here and there. But now things are evolving. We are moving towards microservice-based architecture. So what does it mean? If you wanted to provide a solution to the end customers, that solution will be provided by different small components that are going to work together to provide that experience to the end customer. It has advantages and disadvantages. The greater advantage is you are able to manage those individual components and scale them and deploy them independently. And it has great advantages when you have an exposure or an experience of working in the big systems. You would probably have seen thousands and thousands and thousands of microservices are working together to provide the end solution that you're providing it to the end customer. It's a complex environment compared to just one monolithic architecture that we used to have. Even though it has positives and negatives, but microservice architecture is the highly recommended architecture for the digital transformation. And of course, you need to choose depending upon the product that you're going to deliver. And then the third key advancement is technical advancements. This has been happening for years and years and years. A lot of new tools that are coming up which can help you to do CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment, and record. A lot of AI-based tools. There's a lot of tools coming up every day and day. There's a lot of things. And even the process advancement is happening, right? So before we used to start and then finish and then start to finish. That's what we used to do. Nowadays, when we are building a product or a solution to our end customers, you can have multiple different components, say microservice architecture, and you can independently have a life cycle around those individual components, and you can deploy them individually, and you can manage them individually, you can scale them individually. So the point here is there are a lot of advancements that are happening. It is very important to think we as an individual, how are we going to survive in this complex environment? It's not only the complex environment in the sense of building the product, delivering them, and maintaining them. It is also complex as an individual. How am I going to learn all these different things so I can stand out of my crowd? This is something that we need to really think about. And how do I deliver and operate a high quality product in this complex environment where you have thousands and thousands of microservices providing a solution? How do I equip myself as an individual to deliver and operate a high quality product? If we don't, we know for sure it's going to be a dangerous world of chaos and a lot of losses. And the second question and most important thing is to understand is automation. I mean, automation is not new. It's there from 1980. It's been there for last two decades. And we have already done a lot of automation related tasks, which are low value, repetitive tasks. But I'm not talking here about low value repetitive tasks automation. I'm talking here about an automation where you need automation that is must to manage a solution or a product which has 1,000 independent components that can be deployed and operated, scaled and healed, instantiated, destroyed dynamically. It's a totally different world. If you wanted to achieve the true digital transformation, we have to now automate the complexity. What does it mean? It means how do I automate such a complex system, which is impossible for the manual person to do. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there are certain manual things you cannot avoid. You have to do it. You cannot automate it. But there are so many things that you cannot do as a manual work. It's impossible in this complex environment. So again, question to ask yourself is how I as an individual can develop skills to be relevant in the market that requires these kind of skill sets. So this is what we thought about within Testoper community. And we said, okay, we have to do something about it. And Testoper community is not an official event company. We are just bunch of senior experienced people came together and worked with BRAMPTON and started thinking about this and started delivering what is required to skill the people. That is why the Testoper is in existence today. So what does it mean? In this complex environment, what is key is as an individual, you have to become smarter. All this complexity calls for smarter and creative talent. This is very, very critical for delivering and operating high quality product. And it requires not just a talent. A talent is something that, you develop skills to do the job that you wanted to do. But what we are talking about is dealing with the complexity that I explained in the previous slide. It requires creative talent. It requires a talent outside of what you are trying to do and bring those talent and different things that as an innovation into what you are trying to do to make things better, do things more efficient, reduce the cost for the company that you are working for, bring innovation, disruptive innovation in doing things that are different than how it is being done. Bring the entrepreneurship in the company that you're working for and bring entrepreneurship in the company that you're working for or build your own company. So you have to become smarter and you have to become creative talent, much more than the talent that you have today to deal with this complex environment. So what does it mean as an individual? As an individual, the world needs little more from you, not just going to the work and coming back. It needs you to learn more than what you're normally do. You need to start thinking about automation. You need to start thinking about intelligence, artificial intelligence, different technologies that are out there. Most importantly, your mindset have to be there to support yourself to become a creative talent. Because we are a community, from the marketing reason, we basically say the world needs a Testoper. So we call ourselves Testoper has these qualities. Or if not, who's going to build these qualities? Being and doing little more than what he normally does. So that's about why Testoper. Let me talk about what is Testoper. So if you think about Testoper, the massive transformative purpose or a mission that we have is very simple. We are an intelligent automation community who wants to enable the creative talent to accelerate the pace of innovation for delivering and operating high quality products. It's pretty simple. We want to prepare you as an individual so you are able to face the challenges and develop your career path in whichever direction that you wanted to develop. And we are unique. Why we are unique? Unlike anyone else, we don't run for profit. We are a non-profit developer community. We are the bunch of people help others to develop the skills. We run as a non-profit. That's first unique thing. And second unique thing is we are passionate about all these digital transformation technologies, and we are passionate about automation as a sport to help advance testing and operation skills through the continuous learning. Because if you develop testing and operation skills, you will be able to deliver a high quality products. and operate in high quality products. When I talk about testing, it's not product testing. Don't get me wrong. Testing is there throughout the product life cycle. You have an idea, you need to test them. You start designing, you need to test them. If I'm going to develop it, it's going to work. If you are going to develop a software developer, you need to test them. And actual testing you need to do. Then you have to deploy them and you need to test them. And you have to operate them and you need to test them. So it's throughout the product life cycle. Our focus is to bring designers, developers, architects, everyone with the skills that is required to deliver and operate high quality products. That's our key focus, and that's where we are unique. And there are many different profit related organizations are there who are helping the testing and operations community, but there is none with respect to as a non-profit, and we are proud to be one. And so why are we doing all these things? Obviously, it has to have a goal, right? It has to have a result. And our result is to empower the individuals wherever they are working in enterprise, government, academics, business, consultant, whatever. By developing these, by becoming the creative talent, they can create a social impact and economic growth. That's the end goal. As an example, people in Brampton, if they become a creative talent, it's going to help the Brampton city. It's going to bring a lot of economic growth and social growth within the Brampton city, eventually within Ontario, eventually within Canada. So that's the result of end result and end goal that we have. So now you understood why Testoper and about Testoper. Now let's think about how do we do it. We normally do it through a lot of different programs, and each of these programs has its unique reason. As an example, right now we are having 2 ongoing programs in Codathon. One is the beginners track, where we are helping the beginners to learn automation, starting with Python programming. It happens every Wednesday evening, 7 to 8. And there is another track that happens bi-weekly, where we are trying to help the individuals to become creative talent, training them on intelligent automation, sponsored by Brampton Library. And this Codathon, the primary purpose of this Codathon is to provide the deep dive skills to the community members. And we also have Meetup, and today we are in Meetup. Why Meetup? Meetup is to kind of understand the big picture of different technologies. That's the purpose of the Meetup. And likewise, we have Hackathon, Testathon, Innovation Summit, Innovation Showcase, many other events that we do, which all has its own purpose. And if you collectively look at the whole thing, end of the day, it is all about enabling you with a creative talent, which is our massive transformational purpose. And you can see all our programs as we start to publish them in the Eventbrite. Just go to Eventbrite, Google Testoper, then you would be able to see them and you would be able to join them. And we also provide a platform. Obviously, we are a new normal now. Today we are doing virtual, but if not, once this is sorted out, or before this new normal, when we were in normal, we used to conduct meetups in person with the support of Brampton City. So if you look at it, we provide a platform in general, right? In a generic term, we provide a platform to connect, develop, launch, and advance the skills of an individual. And in order to do that, we use a few tools, and we use Microsoft Teams, like I mentioned earlier in the logistics presentation. We sincerely recommend you to join and take benefit of this collaboration environment. And we also use GitHub, where we a lot of community members will come and does coding and things like that, which would help the other community members and city and eventually the province and the country. So this is how we do it to achieve our massive transformative purpose. Now, it's that we provide a platform for connect, develop, launch, and advance. There are some disclaimers that we need to say for sure, and there is a privacy policy related stuff that we need to share for sure. And this is something that my legal Mr. Vishal wants me to read out, so I'm just going to read out. The first one is photo, video, and content disclaimer. Testoper community reserves the right to use any photograph, video, content taken or shared with Testoper at any program, event, and other, without the expressed written permission of those included within the photography, video, and content. That's our first disclaimer. And the second one is collection, use, disclosure of personal information and data protection. We take the protection of your personal information very seriously, treat them confidential, and will be used only for the communication related to the Testoper programs and activities. We assume your consent, having provided your personal data to Testoper via registration and other means. And the third one is use at your own risk. This is very, very critical. The success of the Testoper community is if you become successful. We provide platform to connect, develop, launch, and advance individuals to become creative talent. We may refer members of the community, share information, and provide tools for the benefit and to become successful. For example, Microsoft Teams, GitHub. However, Testoper do not assume responsibility of the outcome. This is very, very important to understand. We will provide the platform for you to connect and get business, for you to get job, for you to become successful, for you to become creative talent. But we don't assume responsibility on the outcome, right? If something goes wrong in your business, or if you're not able to get a job, right? We don't assume responsibility, but we do provide all these platforms for you to excel in your career. So these are the three key disclaimers I have been asked to share by our legal. So here it is. Moving on. I have to say a big thank you to a lot of volunteers who has helped Testoper community from the inception last year to till date. And as you can see, I may not be able to read every one single person's name. I can say this: Testoper community is run by volunteers. It's a non-profit community. Everyone in this community are the owners of the non-profit. And thanks to everyone who has been supporting us throughout to make every program successful and to be where we are today. Thanks a lot and kudos to you all. Great work. And moving on, it is also important, even though it is a non-profit, we provide programs and everything, most of the programs and every program that we do, it's all free for the attendees. But however, it requires sponsors to happen, right? I mean, you need money end of the day, both in kind or dollar to do any activities. Nothing is free. So today I'd like to really thank some of the individual sponsors, Rajesh Kumar, John, Emil, Badrul, Raghavan, and Roger, who have sponsored and donated for this particular program today. Normally what we do is we bring, call them to the stage and we honor them. Unfortunately, we are not able to do that because of the virtual event. But be sure that we have, our heartfelt thanks from all of the volunteer members from the Testoper community to you all. Thanks a lot. And we also wanted to thank two of our primary sponsors, BRAMPTON and Microsoft. I must say that, when all these volunteers that you see in the picture, we all came together and we said, okay, you know what, we wanted to give back to the community and we wanted to do something. We had this idea. Then what we did was, we didn't know how to do this. So we went to BRAMPTON and we spoke to Devin, we spoke to Dan, and we spoke to Astawa, and we spoke to Jennifer. And I must say that there was a lot of support from them, and they helped us to be where we are today. And without them, we would not have been what we are today. Likewise, Microsoft, right? So we went to Microsoft, we said, this is what we wanted to do. Can you help us? I mean, the way that they helped us, without their help, we would not have been where we are today. Thanks a lot, tons a lot. Thanks a ton to BRAMPTON and Microsoft for all your support. So having said that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite Claire Barnett. It's an honor to have you, Claire Barnett, Director of Economic Development, City of Brampton, with us today to speak few words. So to talk a little bit about Claire, she brings a unique perspective in business development and marketing, cultivated through more than 15 years with provincial government, focused on Ontario's economic competitiveness, in addition to prior private sector experience in the technology space. Sorry, I have to read out from here. All right, so Claire served as Ontario's representative in the United Kingdom with a mandate to further Ontario's trade, investment, and broader economic interests. She also established Ontario's first investment office, leading an international sales team and place branding initiatives. Claire is now proud to be establishing an FDI, Foreign Direct Investment, attraction plan and a business retention expansion program for the city of Brampton, a city that is enthusiastic about its growth and the economic potential that brings. Again, it's an honor to have them as a primary supporter and the sponsor of Testoper. We could not have done it without you, Brampton. And Claire Barnett, floor to you, Claire. Claire, can you?
Thank you. Yeah, I forget the mute unmute thing every day. Sorry about that. Thanks so much. And good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. Super to see so many people participating in this event. As mentioned, I am the Director of Economic Development and Culture for the City of Brampton. And I also lead the Mayor's COVID-19 Business Support and Economic Recovery Task Force, which I'll share a little bit about later. Thanks so much for inviting me to be a part of this event, and thank you, Kader, for your positive and your enthusiasm. You really are an ambassador for Brampton and for this community for having Brampton here today. Really appreciate the comments you made about our team, and I couldn't agree more. The people you mentioned, Stewa and Devin on this call right now, are extremely enthusiastic about helping grow these kinds of communities. So thanks for having us. If you could go to the next slide, please. I just wanted to share a little bit about Brampton. Some of you would likely already know it. However, the details and the stats that we share around the world are that we are Canada's second fastest growing city, that we represent over 230 different cultures, and we speak 115 languages. We have a young and talented population of entrepreneurs and business leaders and innovators like yourselves, and we are building a robust and transformative innovation ecosystem in the city. And business and technology community really play a huge role in that. Kader, you mentioned a few words that I wrote down that really stood out for me because they're very much aligned in the work we're trying to do, and that's why we really support this community. You mentioned transformational and collaborative and creative talent, and that is really what Brampton is all about. It is so inspiring to see so many people participate in this event and support each other, working together to transform that innovation landscape, and especially during this hard time. So events like this type of virtual meetup, really shows the strength and resilience and what our amazing business and technology community can do to adapt to the unprecedented challenges that we are all facing now. If you could turn to slide 3, please. Over the past few weeks, since I think it's been maybe 5 weeks now, since we have all begun to deal with the impacts of COVID-19, the City of Brampton has really worked tirelessly to support businesses and address the economic challenges caused by COVID-19 to our business community. We've coordinated strategies to support businesses, workers, and residents, and we are really doing all we can to help mitigate the negative impacts of this global pandemic. We've advocated for federal and provincial economic support. For instance, we were advocating for rent relief for small businesses, and that's just a small example of how we put our voice to that issue that people across the country were doing as well. And we were thrilled to see that the government announced rent relief yesterday. We are also leading the way and leading by example. For tenants of the city, we waived the rent for not-for-profits and deferred the rent for profits as well. So throughout all of this, we continue to reach out to the business community, entrepreneurs, and the community at large to understand how you are going to be impacted and how we can support you. So as we mentioned, our economic development team and our Brampton Entrepreneur Center are available to help you. If you need our support, business advice, we are here to help you virtually these days. And we hope to have hosting this event again at the Entrepreneur Center sometime soon. Slide 4, please. We remain committed to providing information and services and resources to help Brampton businesses and the technology community. There are a couple of ways of getting in touch with us. As I mentioned, Devin and Astawa are on this meetup right now. You can message them, or you can visit the website set up for brampton.ca/COVID-19, or email us at covid19business@brampton.ca. We really are here to support you, and that's the message that I wanted to share with you and why I've joined you this morning. I look forward to meeting you in person at the Brampton Entrepreneur Center, inviting you to be part of the work that we are doing to build and advance our innovation district in Brampton. And please reach out to our team. We're here for you. Thank you, Kader, and to Stopper for hosting this event. And thanks very much. I hope that you have a great session. And remember to stay home, stay safe, and be well. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Thanks a lot for joining us today. It was an honor. All right, so let's get into the main stream of today's event. The evolution of the new era of automation with Industry 4.0. So before we get into this details about what it is, let's try to understand how the evolution from Industry 1.0 to 4.0 came into the picture. There are, from the market point of view, the evolution is termed as Industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0, and the respective timelines you are actually seeing here. And the first Industry 1.0 evolution started. It's all about mechanization. So it's all about industrial production based on machines powered by water and steam. This is what all about Industry 1.0. And in Industry 2.0, it was called electrification, if I have to explain it in one simple word. It is all about mass production based on the assembly line and the use of electricity. Then came Industry 3.0. It was all about automation. Two decades ago itself, the automation was there. And it's all about automation based on electronics, computers, and so on. And there was in between 3.0, 4.0, there was something called as 3.5. That's when the globalization came into the picture, offshoring. And then finally, today we are in the era of Industry 4.0. It is all about digitization, if I have to say it in a single word. It's all about introduction of the digital technologies to make the industry work better than how it has been working in the past industry evolution. It is expected that Industry 4.0, with all these digital technologies that contributes to the Industry 4.0, is set to change everything and start delivering real business benefits. And it is also expected to take automation and the digital transformation to the whole new level, to improve efficiency, increase flexibility, and reduce the footprint and become profitable end of the day. So when you talk about Industry 4.0 and the different digital technologies that contribute to Industry 4.0, there are many. Depending upon the product solutions or what you wanted to provide to your end customer or to B2B customers, you choose different technologies to achieve your goal. Among many technologies like cloud computing, IoT, big data, AR, VR, whatever, the IoT technology is something that's going to play a critical role in the transformation to Industry 4.0. When I talk about IoT at brief, right? So, a couple of decades ago, it was all about connecting people. Internet connected the people, you, me, and everyone. IoT is all about connecting things through the same medium from the definition point of view. And when you look into IoT a little bit deeper, there are two types of world. The one world is all about consumer IoT, like our smartwatches and so on. The other world is all about industrial IoT. And the focus of today's discussion is all about industrial IoT. When you look at industrial IoT, there are many players. And especially when you look at from the IoT point of view, how it is going to help Industry 4.0. And if you dig a little bit deeper into IoT architecture, this multiple things comes into the picture. The first one is obviously the sensors that you need to have, which is going to collect the data and feed it to you. Then you have a connectivity, you have a hardware, or a gateway to collect all those data. Then you have a connectivity like 5G or Wi-Fi or whatever. Then you have a platform that manages all these different things. Then you can even connect them to third-party enablers like CRM, Salesforce, or whatever, so that you can kind of automate everything end to end. You remember I was telling you about automating the complexity? This is what I'm talking about. How am I going to automate everything end to end? Make it more efficient, more profitable, improve the customer experience, and so on. So now if you look at this whole ecosystems in IoT components and the stakeholders, there are many, many key players. And today we have with us, the key players from these reports. So we have with us Microsoft, we have with us Bell, and we have with us Tech Mahindra. So they're going to share their experience with us and enlighten us with how Industry 4.0 and automation is helping us to transform. So we have three key speakers today. And the first to go is Adarsh Datta. And I'd like to say something about Adarsh as well. I mean, I already mentioned Microsoft is another great supporter and the sponsor of Testoper community. Again, Adarsh was the front end within the Microsoft to really help us to take this to the next level. He has been supporting us in many different directions, and he's also going to be our speaker today. To say a little bit about him, he's a developer engagement lead at Microsoft Canada for Cloud Plus Enterprise. In his role, he focuses on enabling developers across different solution areas to build on the cloud. He also has an experience working as a national startup lead in the past, helping startups build and grow on the cloud. When he is not on the cloud, he spends time in the squash court or improving his cooking skills. Now, culinary skills. All right. So he will be sharing experience with us from development, technology, and enterprise enabler perspective. Having said that, I would like to welcome Adarsh. Adarsh, floor to you.